No one is walking out of those facilities with what you just described. The only people who think that's possible are people who've never been in one, and I frankly have been in them. So you don't walk in with anything, and you don't walk out with anything. Full stop. Now, with actionable intelligence, a Pentagon and FBI strike team can go in there and get this, and that's another avenue. And I won't say more than to say that is being planned.
Wow. Heads
up. All right. But they have to know where they're going and what they're going to go up against. So one of the things we have to do is give them, all right, you want to talk about, let's talk about a facility, the Dugway Proving Grounds. What sector of that vast complex have the assets we're talking about? Where is the gate? What is the code name and the number of the building where the ET vehicles are?
Right.
Where is the entry to the underground work zone? Now, we have people who have that information. It's in our archive. It's very sensitive. But so the question is, as a private organization, I'm not going to move in there. I don't have the assets to move in there. The U.S. government does. The U.S. government does. Now, so I think at a certain point, what we want to have happen over the next 6 months or so is a process where this is being revealed to the people who should know. They then make a decision to protect the witnesses, but also they order these corporations and paragovernmental operations that are being run illegally to come in from their illegal status and be under proper control and supervision, or another action is taken, right? The amnesty expires, number one. Then there are actions taken that I don't want to go into any more than that, because I've been just advising on this, where the actionable intelligence of where the specifics of the facility, what the security operate protocols are, all that are known, and so that it can be done safely and effectively and quickly. Because if this isn't brought under control through legal oversight process in the next 6 to 9 months, my understanding, a clock has been put on it by folks who are quite fed up at that level of the legal government, where they now know. Now, see, before we started providing all that information, they didn't know, A, it was the subject role, B, who was supervising it, D, what assets did they have technologically, et cetera, and so on. So this is a very steep learning curve if you're going from 0 to warp speed. But now that they've been brought up to speed, there is a serious effort being organized to correct it. Some of it you're going to see in the media, some you won't. And the stuff I have to do, I wish I didn't have to do it. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, you cannot let a monstrous illegal operation like this go on indefinitely, involved in things like shipping women and children in crates for human experimentation at covert facilities.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. If you mentioned that you have the CIA.
If they divest themselves of that technology, then they're not required, under my reading of this bill, to report it to the Congress or to the Arrow.
What do you mean if they divest themselves of the technology?
Okay, well, I understand at the moment, I'll tell you, my understanding, this is how much I know. I am told that right at this very moment, there is a major private aerospace company that is trying to divest itself of a craft. It has approached another company expressing interest in selling that technology to them. And the reason why? I suspect it's because they've known this legislation is coming. That's what's going on here. You know, you have private aerospace companies that are actively involved in trying to subvert the intention of Congress. Now, roll your eyes, I don't care. The simple fact is there are people who are telling me this from within the legacy program who are very concerned that there is an active attempt underway to hide technology from the Congress. And there's another issue here. Another issue is if a private aerospace company has been involved in a retrieval, as I understand they have been.
So the question is, those sorts of folks they need to be protected. They need to be empowered to assist with this process. And what I'm worried about, and I've said this to the folks who are advising the Senate and the House, because I deal directly with them, is that you need to put these provisions in an amendment to the Defense Authorization Act that very clearly provides not only the protection for pensions and amnesty, but physical protection for the folks who want to come forward because they have families.
Right.
You know, some of them have children that are still minors, and they are afraid. And I said, look, if you're working with my group, you don't need to be afraid, because I'll just say this. We have it in place that anyone touches anyone helping me do this, it's a mutual assured destruction button. Anything happens to us, those guys are gone. They're done. Done. Look in my eyes. This is what the truth looks like. They are done. So, but it doesn't absolve the psychology of people who have been intimidated, have seen people thrown out of helicopters. You know, like Mr. Herrera, the Marine in Indonesia. He was flat out told, we're going to execute all of you if you ever speak about this.